goats and blood of calves cannot be paid for the blood of human beings, because according to our understanding, wages for sin is death. So Adam and Eve were supposed to die, completely die. But God had plan B. And even Adam and Eve, they put skin upon them. It means sacrifices already started. First blood was shed before Cain killed the Abel. Because to continue to live, Adam and Eve, blood needed to be shed on the ground. So they got skin cloths, and they were taught sacrifices. And after that, all nations knew what is blood sacrifice. Okay. Yeah, but blood of animals are not sufficient because it's animals. So must be a sacrifice human, but sacrifice might be perfect. If you sinned at least once in your life, you will die for your own sin. So there must be at least one person who is perfect completely. And there was nothing like that. So God had a plan to produce such a person. And to produce it, he needed to come himself on the earth like a human being. And Jesus, when he was on the earth, he acted as a human being, mostly. And when he was on a cross, he died as a human being, not like God. And human blood was paid for human sin. And after that, he went out of hell, and then God said, if you believe in Jesus Christ, what he did on the cross, I will accept you without any deeds, by pure faith. And he promised also, if you believe me, I'll change you. I'll give you new heart, new nature. Everything what is satanic in our nature will be removed eventually. Not now, because the process of salvation is not completed yet. When I come to heaven, not my soul and my body will be completely changed, similar to Jesus. So, and I can be capable to be in presence of Holy God, like Adam and Eve before the fall. But so it's the major point of Jesus Christ.
So the question that I was asking you, I mean, we believe Jesus was a Muslim in the sense that he has this recognition that he has a Lord, a God, that he submits and surrenders to willingly and sincerely, and worships that God. Then I asked you whether you believe similar things likewise about Christ.
The point is, because on the earth, Jesus acted mostly like a human being. He needed to submit himself as a human being to God, to be obedient to him, to the latest point. And otherwise, he couldn't be a sacrifice. And
so when you say he submitted as a human being, did he know that he was other than a human being, more than a human being? What was his understanding that who he was?
At times you can see that he acted like God.
Not action. What did he know or understand who he is? So there's something like what I do by what I think what I am, right? So what did Jesus think while he was on this earth, who he was?
There was plenty of statements of Jesus Christ in the Bible.
What does he refer?
When you can see, for example, he said, I was before Abraham. So Pharisees condemned him. How can you do this? How could you say this? And etc. And he says, I am before Abraham. And I am, he said many times. And in Hebrew...
So what does it mean, I am before Abraham?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
it means that he is God, because the name of God in Jewish nature is I am.
No. When somebody says, like, if I told you, I am before Abraham Lincoln, from my statement, I am before Abraham Lincoln, you would understand that I was before him while he was living, not that I am God. So if he said something like, I am before Abraham, people would have understood that he was before the time of Abraham, not that he was God, because that's what the language implies, right? Why would you say that means, like, I am the prime minister, or I am the king, or I am God?
How a human being born just 30 years ago can be before Abraham?
Because God can make someone at the very beginning, even before they are born here, like Jeremiah and various others. God formed them, before even the foundation of the world. I'll give you an example. You were in the loins of Adam even before you came here. Thousands of years after, you were already there. God knew you. God knew you. So it doesn't make you God just because you were there already. So when the Pharisees said, how can you say you met Abraham, you're not even 50 years old? Do you remember that? So they didn't understand that he's saying I am God. They understood that you are not thousands of years old, meaning that you were there at the time of Abraham or even before. You're only 50 years old, not even 50. So the context, to understand what Christ said and what Christ meant, we have to look at the context. His opponents, the Pharisees, did not understand from that statement that he was God. They understood that he was pre-existent even before or at the time of Abraham. That's what the text says. So now, that doesn't... Many other people were even before.
Okay.
To give you another example, I'll give you another example. Excuse me. Melchizedek,
according to Christian descent, is a Christ.
But it's not Christ, because the text of the New Testament says Melchizedek, someone who had no father and no mother, no beginning of days, nor end of days, but as a priest who was the contemporary of Abraham.
Who has no father, who has no mother, who was all the time? Who?
I'm going to tell you.
Only God.
No. Melchizedek had no mother. Jesus had a mother. So Jesus is not Melchizedek, according to the very statement that the New Testament writers are telling you. It is an attempt to somehow make Jesus like that, but we now know the Melchizedek was contemporary of Abraham, and Abraham gave him 1/10. Right. So if you study the New Testament text, you know that this is a separate individual. Jesus is believed by the Christians to be in the model of this Melchizedek. Not himself, but in the likeness, in that particular order of priesthood. So now we have an individual who was there without any beginning, no father, no mother. That person, according to...
Only God has no father and no father.
Do you worship Melchizedek?
Actually, Melchizedek, it was Jesus who appeared.
No, it's not Jesus, because...
No, it's you, sir.
No, it's not me, because the Bible in the New Testament writing says he has no father and no mother.
We believe that Jesus is God.
Okay.
As God, he has no mother, no father, no beginning of the end. So...
Yeah. So you believe Jesus is that Melchizedek?
Yes.
Okay. So let me try to understand again. Okay, that's one thing you said about what his self-perception was. What did he think he was? He said before Abraham was I am doesn't mean he was God. What did he say about him and God and that relationship? Did he say that I am that God that you are worshipping? Or did he say I am been sent by that God? What did he actually believe who he was when it comes to talking about God?
Okay, it's just pointless. It's becoming pointless.
No. It's important what Jesus said about himself to understand who he is. Not what...
He said, I am. This is the name of God.
I am what?
All Talmud.
No, I am what?
I am.
When did he say I am? He didn't say I am.
Many times.
No. Even a beggar said I am. Do you believe the beggar is God? Many times. So just because...
It's just
So
becoming pointless.
No, it's not pointless. Did Jesus say... that you shall have.
For example, I can say Pharisees recognized they lived at the same time when Jesus, and they crucified him because they said he stated that he is God. It was their verdict. It was a reason for him to be crucified.
And you accept that?
They decided that he was God. But in their understanding, he was a liar, and etc., etc. So,
do you accept their understanding is correct?
From what they saw and understood, everything what he was doing was claiming to be God.
Do you accept their understanding is correct?
And because they didn't believe it, they crucified him.
But do you accept they understood it correctly?
But they and other people see that he was not, all of them of course, they saw that he's really a God.
Let me tell you what I understand, and tell me if I'm wrong. I see that these same people saw Jesus as a madman, demon-possessed. That's what the Bible says.
Yes, of course,
right.
Of course.
And you accept that he was demon-possessed?
They...
Not they?
No.
Do you accept it?
Just a second.
You don't accept?
They understood that Jesus claimed to be God.
No, that's not what I'm asking for.
No.
I'm simply saying...
No, just let me finish.
Go ahead.
They understood that Jesus claimed to be God. But because they believed that he is demon-possessed, madman, they decided to crucify him.
So they understood he was demon-possessed, but you don't take their understanding seriously.
I don't understand that.
Even though they understood Jesus was demon-possessed, you don't take their understanding seriously. You say, now, I dismiss their understanding.
No, and my point is that from what he said,
what did he say?
From what he did.
What did he do?
They understood that he was claiming to be a God.
Okay.
In his mind.
Let me tell you what you are missing from the New Testament. Maybe you see it there, but you don't see it. At one point, the same people came to stone Jesus for blasphemy. Says, you mere man, you make yourself equal to God, and you're blaspheming. That was the real opportunity for Jesus to say, hear me clearly. I'm not just blaspheming. I am God. That's what you should accept. I'm not just claiming to be God. I am God. Please, let me finish. Why should he not correct them? He should tell them, of course I am God. That's not a blasphemy. You should worship me and so on. Listen to me, I am God. Instead, do you know how he replied? I've read the passage. Do you remember? Right. He responded, said, for what works? What have I done that you're trying to stone me? That you say I'm blaspheming? And then he responded by saying, look, isn't it written in your law that you are called Elohim? And I only said I'm Ben Elyon. That you are gods, and I said I am a son of God. And the scripture cannot be broken. I'm paraphrasing the whole story for you. So what he did is said, look, in your scripture, in the Torah, in the book of Psalms, there are passages in which God says to ordinary human beings, the judges, you are Elohim, sons of the Most High, but you'll die like men. So they know God himself has called those judges as Elohim. Elohim is the name of God, is God. Right. So he said, I didn't say I'm Elohim. I said I'm Ben Elyon, the son of Elyon, meaning son of God. So let me make my point first of all to understand. So he refuted by saying, I didn't claim to be God or Elohim. Even if I did, that would not be a blasphemy. Point number one. Secondly, I only said I am the son of God. And why did he say that? Because the Jewish people, they believe any righteous person is a son of God. Ephraim is a son of God. David is a son of God. And so on and so forth. So Jesus refuted them in their accusation that he claimed to be God, because that was an opportunity for him to make himself clear.
If anyone is son of God, they call themselves sons of God. They killed him because he claimed to be a son of God, like
But that
God.
is not a claim to divinity. Even if you said, I am a son of God or a daughter of God, that doesn't make you God.
If anyone is son of God, what's the point to kill him? No. Because his claim.
I will tell you why they wanted to kill him.
Let me just another example.
No.
I'm Russian.
Before you go there, why did they want to kill him? Do you know why they wanted to kill him? It's important to understand that point.
Because, first of all, it was God's plan.
No. Why did the Jewish people want to kill him?
Was a people who arranged this sacrifice. So it was God's plan for Jesus to
That's
be
what
killed.
you understand. That's what you understand.
He needed to pay the price for our sins. So human blood needs to be shed to pay for our sins. And Jewish nation was a like high priest who is keeping sacrifice. So it's a first.
We can come back to this point, but the reason they wanted to kill him, because he came to destabilize the political order. He didn't want these Pharisees and the Sadducees and all these people to go about telling people what to believe, what not to believe. They become like gods on earth in terms of what they're saying to people. He came to tell them the spirit of the Torah. He told them what the Torah says and the spirit behind it that they should follow. At one point, remember, a woman came and says, okay, she should committed adultery. What did he say? Let anyone who has no sin be the first one to cast a stone to stone her to death. No, the point is, he was a teacher sent by God to remind them of the Torah, to follow God, obey God, and worship God. So that's why I asked you, what was his?
You cannot fulfill the law.
Sorry. Can I make two more points?
To start a new era.
2 more points. As he was going about Nazareth or Galilee, whatever area it's going, do you know what people thought about who he is? What did people say he was?
All kinds of things.
Like?
It does matter.
It does. It's important. No, it's very important. Because if someone is God on earth, people should know that he's God on earth. But instead, when he went around healing the sick, the leper, the blind, what did people say about him?
What Peter said about him.
No, not Peter. What? Before you go into Peter, what did Peter say? Let's start with Peter.
Son of God. It meant God.
No. A son of God, as we have explained.
Son of God is everyone. So
Please.
son of God.
If Peter said son of God, you know what son of God means. There are many sons of God. There are sons of God by the tons in the Bible.
But in this context, it meant God.
We disagree, but I can tell you.
And Thomas said, my God.
No, he didn't stop there. He didn't say just my God. He says my Lord.
And my God.
Right. Do you know who is? So
anyway, he said
not anyway. Not anyway. Every single. This is a reaction of Thomas. When he went to the people, he says, "Oh,
okay." Even according to, just look at Jesus. You cannot find anyone like him.
It is
he
important.
Was born without sin. Everyone. Muhammad is sinful. Everyone is sinful. Jesus is sinless. He
try
was born
to
without from God, by God's intervention. Nobody is born by God's intervention.
If you are sinless, does it make you God?
He made
if you are sinless,
and he breathed the.
I can see that you're going into several arguments
so
now. Just one, slow down.
You need to be blind, not to
No,
see
just
that
slow down.
Jesus is special.
You'll be surprised every single thing you say.
If Quran said that God is Jesus is God, and you don't believe it.
Do you want me to respond to what you just said?
Because I know people who read Quran.
Would you like me to reply to what you just said? At least hear the response.
I see it's just like.
At least hear the response. So, we believe angels don't sin. It doesn't make them God. There'll be hundreds and millions and zillions of gods then, because there are many angels. They don't sin. So in our understanding, you would say they're all gods. But of course they're not. When a child is born sinless, it doesn't make them God. So can I make my point?
Do you need to learn a child to do wrong thing? You don't need. He has a sinful nature.
There's a difference between having a sin. Are you a terrorist?
I have a child.
No, are you a terrorist?
Every person who is born has sin in their nature.
I want to make a point. Are you a terrorist that we can take you there and the MI5 can take you and put you behind bars and execute you?
Are you a terrorist?
No, I'm not. Are you?
I'm not.
Right. So you can't say every person is a terrorist or a sinner. You can only say there's a potential to terrify and to commit terror. Look, can I finish my point, please? What you are saying is people have the potentiality to commit sin, commit terror, commit all these wrongdoings. Until they have done that, you cannot call them a sinner, you cannot call them a terrorist, you cannot call them a murderer. You cannot call him a murderer if he hasn't committed any murder. So you cannot call someone a sinner unless they have done a sin. A baby of 1 minute old.
But they've got
Please. When a baby is
Just listen.
when a baby is just born, 1 second of birth, is that baby a sinner?
He's have a sinful nature.
That's what I'm asking.
He is not sinner.
That's what I'm asking. Thank you. Right. Good. So you've answered.
Children who died in
So you've answered.
they go to heaven because they still haven't sinned. But they've got sinful
But you have answered though. The baby is not a sinner, but has a sinful nature. Right. Good. So just because someone has a sinful nature doesn't mean that they are sinners. So let's go back to Jesus Christ. When he went to the people were deceived, according to you, to think that he was a prophet of God, a mighty messenger of God, a miracle worker. Because Jesus deceived them to think that he was a prophet, that he was a messenger who was a miracle worker, instead of saying, I'm God on earth. Imagine now, I was the King of England, for example, but I didn't tell you. You would say, oh, you should have told me that.
Let me give it.
No, I need to finish my point though.
Jesus needed to say exactly why I'm God.
I'll tell you why.
Now,
I will tell you why he needs to.
just a second. I'm Russian. I can say I'm a princess of Russia. You believe me?
I would. No problem with that. But if you said you are God, I would not believe you. Do you know why?
All dynasty of Russian emperors was completely eliminated by Russia.
Sure. Yeah, but you can be a dethroned princess.
Other people
let me-
need to confirm that I'm a princess.
But allow me to tell you why God needs to tell us that He's God, worthy of our worship. Imagine, it's not. No, please, it's very important. It's very important. If God did not tell us from the very beginning that He is our God, and He requires,
He said,
please.
I'm God
Can I,
Son is given
can
to you.
I make a point?
No, I'm not interested in talking to you because it just...
Why? Because I'm making sense?
Because it's like circling.
What have I circled? Tell me. What have I said which is
I'm
circular?
telling you that Isaiah told that Son is given to you.
What did Isaiah say?
Authority upon his shoulders.
Okay. And?
His name is God Eternal. God Eternal. His name is Prince of
Peace.
Peace. He's God Almighty. It's Isaiah said. And you said, it's nothing. It's just nothing.
Did you ask me how I understand this verse?
You can understand as you want.
No, not as I want. Not as I want.
If the prophecy says he's God eternal.
Can I? Okay, hear me out.
God. Yeah. What's the point?
No. Because you brought, you see, if you bring something, at least try to hear the response. Because there may be a very cogent, sensible response to all of this. This Isaiah, when he said that, did the Jewish people think that there will be someone like that will be also God? Never. Because it is their book and they said that this doesn't refer to a God on earth. Because the person it's referred to, a son will be born, he shall be called the mighty God, the Prince of Peace, the government all be on his shoulders, the everlasting Father. Is Jesus the Son or the Father?
Jesus, one being in three persons.
No. You need to be consistent in what you bring. The Isaiah passage says, he shall be called.
So, you see.
Can I finish my point?
No.
Can I finish my point?
No.
Can I finish my point? And then you can have your response. Just like I let you speak, make a point, I'm responding.
Yeah.
So in counter response to what you said, in Isaiah it said, he shall be called. Jesus was not called by anyone everlasting Father, because in Christian theology, he's not the everlasting Father. He's the Son. So it cannot refer to Jesus.
He's God, so he's the everlasting Father as well.
No, he's not. In your belief, there is everlasting Father and there is the Son, right? Jesus is not the everlasting Father. So you cannot make that heresy, this heretical mistake. You will be totally disowned by your church, whatever church you go to, right? If you ever go to a church and you say that, they will say that you're not even a Christian. My point is, this Isaiah passage does not make anyone who is God, because for them, even a judge can be called God. Even a judge can have the government on their shoulders. So it doesn't mean the passage refers to an individual who is going to be worshipped as God on earth. So now let's return back again to what people said. And I want to go back to the reason why.
About Isaiah.
Please, Isaiah, I've already explained.
No,
it doesn't.
Let me now.
Okay, tell me.
It says, Son is given to you. The same Son is eternal God. How can it be? Son given to you and he is eternal God. How can it be? It's consistent. And you say it's inconsistent.
No, it doesn't say eternal God.
Eternal God, it says.
It says mighty God, El Gibbor. Mighty God, right? Mighty God. For them, a mighty God can also be a title of ordinary human beings. Like in Psalms 82, verse 6, where God is saying, you are Elohim, sons of the Most High.
How can it be Son at the same time, eternal God?
You're just saying eternal. Can you show me the passage where it says eternal God? Then it will become clear. Yeah. While you're finding it, Jesus himself said, there is only one true God. And he didn't say that was him. Do you know, according to Jesus, who that one true God is?
If God wants to be three persons in one?
No. Jesus identified, no, what I'm saying is, after all this discussion we are having, Jesus actually settled that dispute. Jesus said who the one true God is. Do you know?
Sorry?
Jesus himself identified. Let's find Isaiah. And we'll come back to Jesus, what he said about this one true God.
I didn't cut out half what I was saying. What did I do? I don't remember. We can talk about it now. About the you cut out. I'm happy fucking my week.
No, what? There are many translations. I just choose it.
Okay, let's see your translation.
Child is born, son is given, government is on his shoulders. His name is to be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. How son can be Mighty God?
Okay, stop. Stop.
Let me finish. You don't give me a time. How son can be called Everlasting Father?
Sure. Keep it open. Keep it open. So now you got yourself corrected, because the passage that you read said, Mighty God, Prince of Peace, Everlasting Father, the government on his shoulders. Just as I said. So I quoted your Bible more accurately than you are misquoting the text.
But it says Son is given to you.
1 second. You said eternal God, which it doesn't.
Of this Son.
Wait.
Everlasting Father. Son, Everlasting Father.
Please. Remember, you argued with me. Do you remember? It says eternal God, which it doesn't. It doesn't say eternal God. So I corrected you, and you have seen it yourself, you read it yourself, and all of the people have heard, it doesn't say eternal God. It talks about everlasting Father, which Jesus is never the everlasting Father in any Christian theology.
No, everlasting, it means eternal.
His name will be name. Who called Jesus everlasting Father? No one. No one today calls him everlasting Father either. So, Jesus settled the dispute who he was. He said, you should know that the eternal, the only true God is the Father. Did you know that? In John 17:3, do you know?
As I said you before.
Excuse me.
Jesus
Can I settle the dispute between you and me?
Because you're trying to twist it.
I'm not twisting it. You were twisting it, and I showed you that you did the twisting, and you were corrected.
I said you before.
Sorry.
That Jesus came on earth.
Excuse me.
And he acted on earth as a human being.
What did he say? Who the true God is?
So in this case, he needed to submit to Father. He needed to pray to Father.
That's not what I'm asking.
To get help from angels.
That's not what I'm asking, though. I am saying, according to Jesus, who is the only true God? Let me ask you, who is the only true God, according to you? The only true God, not just God, not true. I don't want to twist. I'm going to be very specific, very specific.
Okay.
According to you, who is the only true God?
I just showed you Son given of us. He's the eternal God. And you said it's nothing. No? Okay.
You just read it yourself. It doesn't say eternal God. And you went back again.
Everlasting Father.
No, his name will be called everlasting Father. If my name is called everlasting Father, does that make me God?
Everlasting.
Wait. If my name is called everlasting Father,
in Bible, every name had meaning. Every name of God had revealed His nature, and it's not just. No,
if my name is called everlasting Father, would that make me God?
If He said His name, everlasting Father.
No, if my name was everlasting Father, would that make me God?
It's not our argument. He said, "I'm everlasting Father."
He didn't say that. Jesus never identified himself as the everlasting Father.
Isaiah said about
Isaiah said someone's name will be, right? So my question to you again is, to settle the dispute, let's see what Jesus Christ said who God is. According to your understanding, who is the only true God? Only true God. Not just God, not just true God, but the only true God.
I'm praying to a true God who created.
Who is the only true God that you're praying to?
Who created the whole universe? Who created every?
Who is he? Who is he? Who is he?
True God.
No, who is he?
True God who created.
Is he the Holy Spirit?
I don't don't interrupt my prayer.
But I don't want you to pray.
I
want you to answer my question rather than pray.
Give us
because your prayer is not going to help you answer the question.
To help us to have revelation and to give us clarity. I don't want to be deceived.
You are deceived.
You don't want to be deceived.
But you are deceived though. I asked you a question to settle the dispute according to Jesus Christ, who settled our dispute. Who is the only true God according to Jesus Christ?
And I asked God to reveal Himself to us in dreams, to come in visions.
So you don't want to listen to Jesus, what He said? She's not interested in what Jesus says, what Jesus said. You're interested in visions.
We want to be in your presence in heaven. We don't want to go to hell.
And who will be God in heaven?
And because of it, everyone.
Who will be God in heaven?
We need this revelation.
Who will be God in heaven?
And God.
Suddenly,
so just
you're not engaging anymore.
Come to us.
Okay.
Reveal yourself. Show up to everyone who is here.
So according to Jesus Christ, brother, excuse me. According to, can I teach you something now?
Show up to you. Show up to you. Show up to this man.
So now she's preaching. This is when the truth comes, this is the mode that we see Christians engage in. Because when you cannot respond, right?
Give me the answer.
So according to Jesus Christ, let me help you. Let me remove your confusion. Let me tell you the truth according to Jesus.
I know that I'm born again. My name is written in the heaven. And according
Who's
to
the only
the
true
Bible,
God? Excuse me.
I'm sitting in the
What's your name?
heavenly
What's your
place,
name? What's your name?
In the
What's your name?
heavenly place.
What is your name?
Jelina. And I will Jelina.
Jirina?
Yeah.
Jirina?
So, and
Who is the only true God?
and
Shall I
my
tell you?
God, and my God
It's the God of
me.
Jesus.
I have conviction in my heart that I'm already saved.
Suddenly, why are you not listening to my question and answering it?
He healed me, not on one
No.
occasion.
Why you suddenly become like a robot and not listening and answering
He
my question?
helps me, everyone.
Why have you suddenly become a preacher?
My son had depression, and I prayed, and God answered my prayers.
We are not talking about that.
Are you depressed now?
And he
Because
free from
no,
depression.
are you depressed now? Because the truth has come to you.
I saw people.
Jesus said,
He was,
the only true God is the one who he calls himself the Father.
What does mean God?
Islam.
my father
You know what? I'm gonna go, Jarina.
created me.
Jarina, I'm going to go.
His love, he created
Brother,
me.
brother.
I'm his
Let's not have
daughter.
several discussions because, as you can see, so instead of engaging with me, the question I asked, which settles the dispute, she is now engaging with everyone else apart from me. So, Jarina,
Bible says, don't take part in fruitless discussion.
fruitless discussion. In the day of judgment, I will be a witness against you
Okay.
that I demonstrated that even from the testimony of Jesus Christ, the only true God is his God. The one who says, worship him only, not Jesus Christ being the God, only true God. Jesus Christ is the one who's sent by the only true God. Just as I started with you in my discussion from the very beginning, I said Jesus was a Muslim. Jesus was indeed a Muslim who worshipped God. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he fell down on his face, his forehead on the ground, he worshipped God.
Does he talk to you? Does he talk to you?
Does Jesus,
Can you
does
hear
Jesus,
your God voice?
listen,
Does he guide you?
yes, God guides me.
No, I said, can you hear his voice?
Yeah, every time I read the Quran, I hear God speaking to me.
No, he can talk without, not only for Quran. He can talk to you personally. Not every situation.
So let me ask you one thing. Do you worship Jesus or do you worship the God of Jesus? Last question, and then I leave.
So I worship my God.
That's not my question.
One.
That is not my question though. I have a specific question. You worship Jesus. You're going to go to hell if you do. Whoever worships other than God, God has told himself that they will go to hell and they'll never come out of it.
God is.
If you worship Jesus or Moses or Abraham or David or Muhammad or anyone else, hellfire is your one-way ticket and you'll never come out.
Jesus said, who follows me, he will be in heaven.
No, I'm telling you, if you worship other than God and you worship the angels or human being, Jesus or Moses or Abraham or even Muhammad alayhi salatu salam, you will go to hell and you'll never come out of it.
Even Quran says that it is extraordinary special.
No, Quran says he's a slave and a servant of God. And God were to destroy Christ, no one will help him.
Even Quran says that no one.
The Quran says if God were to destroy Christ and his mother, who is there to help them and save them? No one.
Muhammad was a sinful person.
Oh, now you see?
Jesus was
So now become character assassination. That Prophet Muhammad is sinful. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was not God. He was a servant of God. He's a messenger of God.
Same
Right?
Muhammad. Jesus is my prophet. I live.
So I'm gonna leave with you. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. But in the day of judgment, you know that I will be a witness against you. I will be a witness against you that I gave you the message that Jesus himself said the only God that you should worship is the God in heaven, not himself. He said he was a agent of God, a man of God, a prophet of God. And yet you worshipped him. So Jesus does not help you in the day of judgment, and I will be a witness against you.
The Bible says if you don't believe in Jesus as God, you will be
Where does it say that?
condemned.
Where does it say that? You lied. You lied. Where does it say that? You lied. Where does it say that? We are all witnesses now. Let's see it. Where does it say that? Brother, don't say any word. Where does it say that? Excuse me, brother. Just look at me. Where does it say that? You just lied in front of the public and all the millions of people that will be watching you. Where does it say that if you...
are just twisting the
She's finding it now. Let's see. Let's see. And we would demand a sincere apology for lying. Or maybe you were mistaken. I will take that. If you said, look, I mistook what the Bible said, I will accept it.
Okay.
Yeah.
God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that everyone believing into him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God didn't send his Son into the world that he might judge the world, but the world might be saved through him. The one who believing unto him is not condemned, but the one who is not believing already been condemned, for he has not believed into the name of only begotten Son of God.
And what did you claim earlier?
Jesus is God.
One second. What did you claim earlier and what are you producing as a supporting text? It doesn't support what you said. What did you claim? Do you remember? You can watch the videos. Look, so many channels are recording this. Yeah? So at least apologize to the people that you were mistaken. Apologize. That is the minimum thing you should do. Say, I'm sorry, I misunderstood what I was claiming.
And this is the judgment, that the light has come into the world. It's Jesus. And man loved the darkness more than
It doesn't support what you claim.
Jesus. And their works were evil.
What did Jesus say who you should worship? One final question. According to Jesus, who should you worship? Because Jesus never said worship me. He says worship the one who's in heaven. Oh, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy will be done. Thy kingdom come. That's the Lord's Prayer. And these Christians, self-delusion. Into self-delusion. Thinking what they read is what it says. But in fact, they are deceived by Satan in thinking that Jesus himself taught them that. In fact, Jesus said, no, you should worship him and him should you serve only. Who was he referring to? The God on heaven. Whose will be done? Whose kingdom come? The God in heaven. So Jesus never said, I am God and worship me and worship, me as God or whatever. So how are we going to let our Christian friends, because the discussion was with the Christian lady, to understand this delusion they're in? They have to look after and care for their own souls. Because if your own soul is deceiving you, I cannot help you. But be sure that I will be a witness against you. All the people here will be a witness against you in the day of judgment. Because وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ. We have made clear the message to you about the only God worthy of worship was the God of Jesus, and Jesus was a messenger, a prophet of God. And we have made a hujjah against you. We have made a hujjah and evidence against you in your belief that Jesus is God, when we demonstrated it's the opposite. Jesus has a God which he submitted and surrendered to, making him a Muslim. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Good gift for
How can you be a love?
So, brother, I want to say Assalamu alaikum from Saudi Arabia. 7 years ago, I watched your video and one my dream to meet you. And Amen. How are you? Good. My name is Farhan. I'm from Saudi Arabia. North of Saudi Arabia. Anytime you come, I will say for you, welcome. Because all my family, all of us watch all your video and الأخوة الثانيين الآخرين. and every time on TV, watch your video about me every day, every single day. When I want to sleep 2-3 hours. SC دعوة or AF دعوة or there is a lot of